Ladies and gentlemen, let me say something you don't want to hear, but you need to hear. Motivation is garbage. That's right. Stop waiting to feel like it. Stop hoping you'll magically wake up one day ready to crush your goals. That feeling, that high, it's unreliable, it's inconsistent, it doesn't last, but you know what does? Discipline. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when you'd rather snooze for another hour. Discipline is what gets you to the gym even when you're tired. Discipline is what keeps you building your dream after everyone else has stopped clapping. You see, motivation is an emotion. It's like happiness, like anger, like sadness. It comes and goes. It shows up when it wants to, and usually when things are already going well. It's not dependable, but discipline is a decision. It's a commitment. It's something you choose to do even when it's the last thing you want. If you want to win, and I mean really win, you've got to get it in your head that discipline beats motivation every single time. Let me tell you how I built the 5-second rule, not because I was motivated, but because I was desperate to change. And when you're desperate to change, you realize that waiting to feel like it is the worst strategy you could ever use. You've got to act when that alarm goes off. 5-4-3-2-1. You move, you get up, you show up. You take action before your brain has a chance to talk you out of it. That's what discipline is. It's doing the thing before your mind can stop you. You want to get fit. Discipline. You want to build wealth. Discipline. You want to fix your relationships. Discipline. You want to launch that business. You guessed it. Discipline. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to knock on your door and hand you your dream life. And the people who get what they want, they don't wait for the perfect mood or the perfect moment. They force themselves to do what needs to be done, especially when they don't feel like it. That's the difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck. Successful people act, they make a plan, they create routines, they build habits, they show up, over and over and over again, no matter how they feel. You know what that's called? Self-leadership. You have to become the kind of person who doesn't negotiate with your excuses, who doesn't argue with the alarm clock, who doesn't whine about how hard it is, you just do it anyway. And guess what? That consistency, that grind, that repetition, it builds confidence, it builds momentum, it builds trust in yourself. You start to believe you can do hard things because you prove it to yourself every single day. We live in a culture obsessed with feel good. But let me tell you something, you don't grow when it feels good. You grow when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, when you push through. That's when real transformation happens. So the next time your brain says, I don't feel like it, you say, that's okay, I don't need to feel like it. I'm doing it anyway. Start small, 5 minutes of writing, 10 minutes of exercise, 1 healthy meal, 1 phone call, and then tomorrow, do it again and again and again. The compound effect of discipline is massive. It's exponential. 1 small win stacked on another and another until one day you look around and think, how did I get here? And the answer will be clear. You showed up. You forced yourself. You earned it. Because you stopped chasing motivation and you started chasing results. You stopped being reactive and you became intentional. You stopped dreaming and you started doing. So here's the truth, friends. If you want to change your life in 2026, don't wait to feel motivated. Decide, right now, that you are the kind of person who shows up. Because the ones who win are the ones who act, the ones who move, the ones who build discipline like it's oxygen, and they don't stop until they get what they came for. Discipline over motivation every damn time. Most people think motivation is the secret ingredient. They think success comes down to getting pumped up, feeling inspired, or waiting for that perfect moment when everything inside you screams, let's go. But here's the brutal truth, asterisk, that moment rarely comes. Asterisk, you're not going to wake up every day feeling fired up. You're not always going to have that surge of energy that pushes you into action. In fact, most days, and I mean most asterisk days, you won't feel like doing the work at all. You'll be tired, distracted, overwhelmed, maybe even bored. And if you're relying on motivation to carry you through that, you're already losing. Because motivation is a feeling, and like every other feeling, it's inconsistent. You can't schedule it. You can't predict it. It doesn't show up just because you need it. One day you'll feel it. The next day it's gone. And if that's your only fuel, your tank is going to run dry the moment life gets hard. But discipline is different. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't flinch when things get messy. Discipline is a decision. It's the choice to show up whether you feel like it or not. It's waking up early even when you're exhausted. It's going to the gym when your body wants to rest. It's sticking to your goals when no one is watching and no one is cheering you on. That's the truth no one wants to talk about, because discipline isn't sexy. It's not glamorous, it's not inspiring in the moment, but it works every single time. Let me ask you something: how many things in your life have you started and never finished because the motivation wore off? How many diets, how many books, how many ideas, dreams, or plans have you left behind because you were waiting to feel ready? You don't need a better plan. You don't need more inspiration. What you need is discipline, the kind that pushes through resistance, the kind that ignores the excuses, the kind that refuses to quit. Think of elite athletes. Think of world-class performers. Think of entrepreneurs who grind day and night to build something from scratch. You think they're motivated all the time? Hell no, they're tired, they're stressed, they're burnt out, but they show up anyway because they're driven by purpose, not feelings. They've trained themselves to move to act to execute regardless of the circumstances. And here's where the magic happens. When you consistently practice discipline, you start to build something even more powerful, self-trust. You begin to trust yourself to follow through. You start to believe that when you say you're going to do something, you'll actually do it. That belief in yourself becomes unshakable. It becomes your foundation. Discipline is what builds habits. Discipline is what transforms your identity. Because every time you push through the resistance, you cast a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. One healthy meal, that's a vote. One workout, that's a vote. One early morning spent working on your goals, another vote, and those votes add up. They accumulate. They shape you into someone who doesn't break promises to themselves. But here's the thing, discipline isn't natural. It's trained. You have to teach yourself to move before you feel like it. You have to decide that your goals are non-negotiable, that your feelings don't get to be in charge. That no matter what, you're going to show up, and yes, it's going to suck sometimes. You're going to hate it some days. Your mind is going to fight you. Your body will scream at you to quit. But if you can master the moment between the resistance and the decision, if you can just act, that's where power lies. That's where transformation happens. I created the 5-second rule for exactly this reason. You have 5 seconds between thought and action. If you don't move, your brain will kill it. It'll talk you out of it. That's why discipline is tied to speed. Don't think, move. Don't analyze, act. Discipline is built in that gap. The more you move in that space, the more power you gain. So no, you don't need to wait for a burst of energy. You don't need to feel inspired. You just need to do it anyway. Discipline over motivation every single time. Because motivation might get you started, but only discipline will finish the job. It's the only way. You have to force yourself to win. You won't always feel like it. In fact, most of the time you won't. That's the trap. That's what keeps people stuck, waiting to feel like it. waiting for the energy, the right mood, the perfect moment when everything aligns and you feel that surge of motivation pushing you forward. But here's the truth. If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll wait forever. If you're relying on the moment to feel right you're giving your goals, your future, your entire potential over to your emotions. And that's a dangerous game to play. Because feelings are unreliable, they fluctuate, they lie. One moment you feel on fire, the next you want to quit everything and hide under the covers. You can't build anything solid on something that's unstable. You can't trust feelings to be the engine of your progress. You've got to rely on something deeper, stronger, your ability to move in spite of those feelings. Let's break it down. Think about how many mornings you've opened your eyes and said, I just don't feel like it today. Whether it's going to the gym, sending an important email, studying, working on your business, getting back up after a failure, your mind offers you an easy way out. It always will. It's not because you're lazy. It's because your brain is wired to protect you from discomfort, risk, and uncertainty. It wants you to stay in the safe zone, the zone where nothing changes, but that zone, that's the graveyard of dreams. That's where potential goes to die. So you have to learn how to override it. You have to understand that you're not supposed to feel like it. That feeling is not a requirement for action. That's the biggest myth we've been sold. That we need to feel motivated to move. That we need to feel confident to take action. That we need to feel inspired to show up. No, that's backwards. You act first, then the feeling follows. You move first, then the momentum builds. You don't wait to feel ready. You decide to be ready. When I created the 5-second rule, I realized it wasn't about motivation at all. It was about interrupting the autopilot. Your brain has a habit loop, idea, hesitation, overthinking, avoidance. And it happens fast. The moment you hesitate, your brain kicks in with every reason why you shouldn't. You're tired. You'll fail again. You're not good enough. It's not the right time. And boom, just like that, you're back on the couch, scrolling through your phone, convincing yourself you'll try again tomorrow. But when you take action in the face of that hesitation, when you say 5-4-3-2-1, go, and move before your brain stops you, you reclaim your power. You build a new loop, idea, action, momentum, confidence, and that's how discipline grows. Understand this. You are not your feelings. You are not your mood. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses what to do next. And that choice, that micro decision to act when you don't feel like it, that's what changes your life. Not the big moments, not the flashy wins, but the invisible battles you win with yourself, day in and day out. Let me ask you this. How many times have you said, I'll do it tomorrow? And tomorrow never came. How many times have you broken a promise to yourself because you just didn't feel like it? How many opportunities have you missed because you waited to feel ready? Now flip it. Think about a time when you did it anyway. When you pushed through the discomfort, when you forced yourself to show up even though every part of you wanted to quit. How did you feel after that? Empowered, alive, proud, that's what builds self-trust. That's what builds resilience. You don't become great by only doing the work when you're in the mood. You become great by doing the work, especially when you're not. That's the separator. That's the difference between the people who talk about success and the people who live it. The ones who live it know this. You will not always feel like it, and that's okay. Do it anyway. So the next time you're lying in bed and your alarm goes off, don't ask, do I feel like getting up? Ask, what would the future version of me want me to do right now? The next time you're about to skip the gym, skip the reading, skip the work, don't ask, am I in the mood? Ask, what would the best version of me choose right now? That gap between how you feel and what you choose to do. That's where your power lies. And the best part, every time you override your feelings and take action, it gets easier, not because the task gets easier, but because you get stronger. Your tolerance for discomfort grows, your mental toughness grows, your ability to take control of your life grows. You won't always feel like it, but that doesn't matter because you're going to do it anyway. That's what winners do. That's what leaders do. That's what the next level version of you must do. So don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for motivation. You're not here to wait. You're here to win. And the way you win is by doing it. Especially when you don't feel like it. There's a moment in everyone's life where the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the fear of change. That's the moment you realize something has to shift. But here's the trap most people fall into. They think growth happens all at once. They think transformation is some massive leap or lightning bolt of change. It's not. The real truth. Change happens in the smallest, most ordinary, quietest moments, when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, and especially when you don't feel like showing up. Growth is not loud. It's not dramatic. It doesn't announce itself. It shows up as the decision to take the stairs instead of the elevator, to choose a salad over fast food, to turn off Netflix and read that book, to stop scrolling and start creating, to have the hard conversation you've been avoiding, to say no when it's easier to say yes. These tiny decisions, they stack, and over time, they become the evidence of who you're becoming. That's where people get it wrong. They chase motivation, they want the fireworks, they want that one moment to change everything, but real change, real growth, that's boring, it's mundane, it's repetitive, it's choosing to do what's right, not what's easy, over and over again. And the reward, it's not instant, that's the price of growth. It's the quiet commitment to do the work when there's no finish line in sight, no cheering crowd, no pat on the back, because let's face it, growth hurts. It's uncomfortable. It asks you to let go of old stories. It requires you to challenge your own identity. It strips away your excuses and confronts you with the truth about your habits, your attitude, your beliefs. And most people run from that. They stay in their comfort zone, blaming everything around them for why they're stuck. But here's the thing, the comfort zone is a liar. It pretends to be safe, but it's a trap. It keeps you small. It convinces you that maybe later is a plan, that good enough is a destination, that someday is a real day on the calendar. You want to grow, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to start before you're ready. You have to take imperfect action. You have to stop needing permission to go after the life you want. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you the dream. And the longer you wait for ideal conditions, the more time you waste watching other people build the life you wish you had. Growth means getting brutally honest with yourself. Are your daily actions aligned with your goals? Are you keeping the promises you make to yourself? Are you pushing through resistance or letting it run the show? Every day you're voting for the kind of person you are. Every choice is a vote. When you skip the workout, that's a vote. When you choose discipline over distraction, that's a vote. The results don't lie. They reflect the sum total of your choices, and you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it consistently. That's the part people overlook. They think if they mess up once, the whole thing is ruined. But growth isn't linear. You will fail. You will fall off track. You will mess up. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. What matters is that you get back up. What matters is that you recommit every time. That's the discipline. That's the work. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. If your systems are weak, your growth will stall. If your habits aren't aligned, your results will reflect that. And this is where real ownership comes in. You have to look at your routines, your mindset, your schedule, and ask yourself, is this helping me grow or keeping me stuck? Because growth doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens in the structure you create, the boundaries you set, and the standards you uphold, especially when it's hard. And let's not pretend growth is only for the big things like building a business or transforming your body. Growth is also emotional. It's learning to pause before you react. It's choosing not to gossip. It's forgiving someone who didn't apologize. It's being kind to yourself on the bad days. It's developing the emotional maturity to handle discomfort without needing to numb it or run from it. Every hard thing you do is making you stronger. Every difficult decision, every tough conversation, every lonely hour you spend building something that matters, it's all shaping you. And here's the part nobody talks about, the growth you earn through pain, struggle, and consistency. That kind of growth doesn't just change your results. It changes your identity. You go from "I wish I could" to "I did," from "someday" to "day one," from "I hope" to "I own this." So stop waiting. Start now. Get uncomfortable. Show up every day, no matter what, even when you're tired, even when you're scared, even when it feels pointless, because the truth is, the small stuff you're doing today, it matters more than you think. It's not just changing your habits. It's changing you asterisk. Growth isn't a moment. It's a way of life. You don't wait for it. You work for it. You fight for it. And every time you choose progress over comfort, you become the person you're meant to be. Not all at once, not in a big dramatic way, but in the smallest steps that nobody sees. And that's where the magic lies. You can't rely on someone else to build the life you want. You can't wait for your partner to support your dreams, for your boss to recognize your worth, or for your friends to push you forward. You've got to take full responsibility for your own growth, because if you don't, no one else will. And that's not meant to scare you. It's meant to empower you. There is no savior coming, no miracle moment, no perfect mentor with a magic wand. It's just you, your choices, and your commitment to show up for yourself every single day. And let me tell you something important. The moment you stop outsourcing your power is the moment everything begins to change. When you finally understand that the only approval you need is your own, when you stop waiting for permission to take action, when you look in the mirror and say, "I'm the one who's responsible for how this turns out," that's the beginning of something powerful. That's when transformation starts, not when things get easier, but when you get stronger. Here's the trap most people fall into. They think their circumstances are responsible for their outcomes. If I had more money, I'd be successful. If I had more support, I'd feel confident. If I had more time, I'd finally start. No, that mindset keeps you stuck. It convinces you that your future depends on something or someone outside of you. And the longer you believe that, the longer you stay a victim of your life instead of the leader of it. You want to take your life to the next level. You've got to take radical responsibility for it. That means owning your decisions, owning your habits, owning your mindset. It means acknowledging that yes, maybe things weren't fair. Maybe you got dealt a tough hand. Maybe you've had setbacks that weren't your fault. But what you do next, that's on you always. When you take full ownership, you stop blaming and start building. You stop complaining and start creating. You stop reacting and start leading. And that kind of ownership, it's not flashy. It's not Instagrammable. It's invisible to the outside world, but it's transformational for you. Because once you own your life, you can change it. You can design it. You can rebuild it from the inside out. And listen, it's not about doing it all at once. It's about taking one step, one choice, every day that moves you closer to the person you want to become. It's about replacing "why is this happening to me?" with "what can I learn from this?" It's about saying, "I am responsible for how I show up, no matter what's going on around me." Responsibility means choosing discipline over distraction. It means being honest with yourself about your patterns, your excuses, your procrastination. It means getting clear on what you want and holding yourself to that standard even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And you'll be tested. Life will throw things at you, setbacks, rejections, uncertainty. You'll be tempted to fall back into blaming, into wishing someone else would fix it. But every time you resist that urge and remind yourself, no, this is mine to own, you get stronger. You get more powerful, you get more unstoppable. You've got to become the kind of person who shows up for themselves, who doesn't wait for motivation but builds habits, who doesn't wait for opportunity but creates it, who doesn't wait for approval but acts with conviction. Because the people who succeed, the people who transform their lives, they're not special, they're just relentless, they're just consistent. They just refuse to hand their future over to anyone else. So take inventory of your life. Look at your routines, your mindset, your circle, your habits. Ask yourself, is this version of me aligned with the future I say I want? If not, change it. No one else can do that for you. You have the pen, you're writing this story. You can edit the script, rewrite the narrative, tear out the chapters that no longer serve you. But you've got to pick up the pen. You've got to stop watching your life go by and start directing it like you mean it. And that's not about being perfect. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about being accountable. Owning your life isn't about control. It's about choice. Every day, you get to choose your attitude, your focus, your effort. You get to decide what gets your time, your energy, your attention. And when you start protecting your time, when you start guarding your peace, when you start aligning your actions with your values, that's when you start to feel empowered again. You're not too late. You're not too far gone. You're not behind. You just need to stop giving your power away. Stop waiting for someone to show you how it's done. You are more capable than you give yourself credit for. You've made it this far. You've survived things you thought would break you. You've risen after failure. You've started over when it was hard. Don't you see the strength in that? You don't need to be saved. You need to step up. You need to trust yourself. You need to stop living passively and start living on purpose. No one is coming to push you. You are the push. No one is coming to hold your hand. You are the hand. No one is coming to make you believe. You are the belief. Everything you need to rebuild to rise to thrive. It's already in you. You just have to stop waiting and start owning it. This is your life. This is your moment. No more excuses. No more waiting. It's your time. So take the wheel and drive. The difference between the person you are and the person you want to be often comes down to one thing: your ability to act when you don't feel like it. Everyone wants to feel motivated. Everyone wants that spark, that fire, that perfect wave of inspiration to carry them forward. But here's the harsh truth: motivation is fleeting. It's unreliable. It shows up randomly and disappears just as quickly. If you build your success on motivation, you're building on sand. What you need is discipline. Discipline is what carries you when motivation disappears, when the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and your bed feels warm and your body feels tired. Motivation won't get you up. Discipline will. When your workout feels hard and your mind starts making excuses, motivation won't get you through the reps. Discipline will. When you're tired after a long day and still have a goal to chip away at, motivation will tell you to quit. Discipline forces you to show up anyway. Here's what most people don't understand. The path to greatness is paved with days when you don't feel like showing up, and you show up anyway. That's what separates the people who talk about success from the people who actually achieve it. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even timing. It's the decision to push forward, consistently, repeatedly, relentlessly, regardless of how you feel. We live in a culture that glorifies ease. We're told to listen to our bodies, trust our feelings, and take it easy when it's too much. And yes, self-care matters, but let's not confuse self-care with self-sabotage. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to do the hard thing, to train your brain to do what needs to be done, even when every part of you is screaming to quit. That's not punishment, that's power. Discipline rewires your brain. Every time you choose action over comfort, you reinforce your identity as someone who follows through. Every time you do the work instead of making an excuse, you cast a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. It's in the tiny, unseen choices where the real transformation happens. When you take control of your time, when you say no to distractions, when you sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term purpose, you don't wake up disciplined, you train it, you build it through repetition like a muscle. You start with small daily promises. Get out of bed when you say you will, stick to your morning routine, finish what you start. And the more you follow through, the more your brain learns that your word means something, that when you commit, you deliver, that when things get hard, you don't fold, you fight. That mindset is rare. Most people give up when it gets hard. Most people stop at the first sign of resistance. But discipline is built in the fire, it's built in the resistance. It's forged in those quiet, difficult moments when nobody is watching, and no one will know whether you quit or keep going. But you will. And the truth is, the more you practice discipline, the more freedom you create. Freedom to live on your own terms, freedom to chase goals others only dream of, freedom to become the kind of person who inspires others. Not by what you say, but by how you live. Discipline is not a cage. It's the key that unlocks every door you think is closed. You want to change your life, change your standards, decide that mediocrity is no longer acceptable, that excuses are no longer welcome, that comfort is no longer your default. Raise the bar for your habits, your health, your mindset, your goals, and then meet that bar. Even when it's inconvenient, even when it's lonely, even when it's hard. And I'll tell you something else. Discipline breeds confidence. Not fake confidence, not the kind that comes from likes or compliments or external validation. Real confidence, the kind that comes from knowing you can count on yourself, the kind that comes from doing hard things, the kind that says, I've done it before and I can do it again. That's the kind of confidence that changes everything. So stop waiting to feel ready. You'll never feel fully ready. Stop waiting to feel motivated. It comes and goes. Start acting. Start building discipline like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Every dream, every goal, every version of you that you're trying to reach is on the other side of action. Not thoughts, not plans, not intentions, action. It's time to stop negotiating with your potential. Time to stop postponing your power. Time to stop living like discipline is optional. It's not, it's essential. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And every day that you choose discipline over distraction, progress over perfection, purpose over comfort, you move one step closer. You have everything you need. The talent, the ideas, the vision, but none of it matters without the discipline to execute. That's the final piece. That's the real secret. Force yourself to do what needs to be done, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when you'd rather do anything else, especially then, because that's when it counts the most. So from this moment on, commit, not to perfection, but to persistence. Not to waiting, but to working, not to wishing, but to winning, through discipline, grit, and the unshakable decision to never stop showing up.